Right, so we've got a connection to the machine where we want to run things. Great. Now let's actually create a CUDA project and run it. I'm not going to explain anything about the code itself. I just want to explain what's going on in terms of tools. So I'm going to go into add new project, and we have a new section here, NVIDIA. And after installing CUDA, you would have different runtimes of CUDA installed, and I have the 4.2 runtime and also the 5.0, which is what I'm going to use. So let's call this Hello CUDA, and we have a default template that we can work with. So I'm not going to go into any detail about the code, but I just want to show how to run all this stuff and what it looks like. So the first thing that you need to know is the difference between debugging CPU and GPU code. So if you wanted to run and debug something on the CPU, you would press the start debugging button or press F5. But with CUDA, if you want to have something that's, if you want to say put a breakpoint in the kernel here, for example, you would press the start CUDA debugging button. So let's actually try doing that, and we should get an error. And the error is that we don't have an exe yet, and that's one of the things to watch out for. So unlike this button, the start CUDA debugging button does not build your application. So let's build it to begin with. Okay, so we've got our app. Let's try pressing it again and watch it fail again. All right, so we just ran our application, and it's funny, it's saying the version of the driver detected is 0.0. Well, as you may remember, I'm recording this on a machine that has an ATI device, and I was hoping that it would connect to this machine and actually launch the application there. Obviously, that didn't happen, and that's another problem that we have with working with the Nsight toolkit, is that this setting does not affect the way that you debug things. So instead, we have to go into the Nsight user properties. So right-click the project and go into Nsight user properties, and here we can actually specify the machine that we want to run things on. And another question, I guess, that should come to mind is, well, what about getting the files to that machine? I mean, how do they go there? Does it all happen automatically? And the answer is no. You have to specify it here in synchronization. So this essentially is a setting for transferring the files, transferring the directories that you want to synchronize. So here I'm going to choose the directories to synchronize, and you'll notice that by default I already have the Hello CUDA folder selected, so I can just press OK and press OK again. And we're almost good to go. In fact, we can now start CUDA debugging and see what happens. All right, so you can see the Nsight copying files to that other computer. And so it connected to that machine, it disconnected from that machine. We don't really get to see anything because it executed on a different computer. But what we can do is we can obviously put a breakpoint here and actually look into the code. Let me do that briefly. All right, so you see I'm now in a breakpoint that's actually on the GPU on a different machine.